Shalom. Before I begin, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach Kodash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles, and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well and that teach well. And also Shalom and salutations to the fellow brethren and laborers that are laboring in this work as well. So this lesson that I'm going to be getting into today, it's going to be about, the nation of Israel as a whole. You see how that the Lord, he punishes um, the nation of Israel in measure. The Lord chastiseth the nation of Israel in measure, and it's done right away. When they transgress, when we transgress. You see, because you have some that would ask the questions. Many Israelites that would ask the questions: why are we going through what we go through? Why is this happening to us as a nation? Why are we at the bottom? Which those are questions I have myself in the world. What's going on? Why can I never get too high? Why can I? Why can I prosper? Those are questions. I was looking around at the state of the so-called blacks. Just through. And those were questions that were in my mind, like, because growing up in the projects, you're looking around, you see things, man. But I always question, like, yo, what's going on? Why is that? Why is why is this? Why is this happening? But there's a reason to that. In fact, and that reason is that it's judgment. You know. So let me start here in the book of Daniel, chapter 9 and verse 1. Chapter 9 and verse 9. It says, "To the Lord our power belong mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against Him." You see, so it's actually a form of mercy to get punished by Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai. This is dealing with the nation of Israel. Because the way the Lord deals with judgment with us is that once we rebel or go against His word, the punishment is brought right away, and it's not delayed. It's brought right away, which is actually a form of mercy, man. Because matter of fact, let me get something real quick. In the book of Isaiah, because the Lord's ways are different from our ways. The way the Lord sees things is different. Because in the carnal, you might think it's strange, how some things are done. But the Lord is seeing it in a different eye. So this is the book of Isaiah chapter 58. And I'm going to start at verse. Isaiah 55. Salakia, bear with me. This is Isaiah 55 and verse 8. It says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." So the way the Lord views things and does things, we can't comprehend it, because there might be some things that the Lord does that we might not understand right then and there, the reason and purpose for it, but the Lord does, man. The Lord understands why. You see? So that's an example of the Lord viewing things differently than we do. His thoughts being different from our thoughts and His ways different from ours, man. And a form of that is judgment. The fact that the Lord brings judgment upon us right away, which is, it makes sense if you think about it, because if you allow wickedness to grow, it's gonna take root. But if you cut it off right away, then it's not gonna take root, and that wickedness is gonna be out of there. An example I can give is the precept that speaks about leaven. How it says a little leaveneth the whole lump. So what do you have to do? You have to cut off that leaven before it infects the entire the whole thing. You have to cut it off right away, for it to not pollute the whole dough, so to speak. and this is dealing with the nation of Israel. This is dealing with judgment. The Lord deals the same way with judgment. How it's cut off right away before it can grow. Oh, there's even laws on that, man. There's some laws that tell us. Um, it says, roughly paraphrasing, it tells you how that. Um, if you see an example I can give, adultery. You take that person and you stone them in the sight of others to remove evil or sin from Israel. You know. So when something is done, somebody does something wicked, you make an example of them right away. That judgment is brought right away for everybody to see, so that that's not done again. So let's go back to Daniel 9. In verse 9 it says, to the Lord our power belong mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our power to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants the prophets. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, a servant of the Most High, because we have sinned against him. And he hath confirmed his word, which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven had not been done as had been done upon Jerusalem. So nothing, no other nation on the earth has gone through what the nation of Israel has gone through. But this is actually, if you look at it, is good, because we went off, man. And the Lord will only bring such a great evil upon those whom he loves, because he really want to correct us. He really wants to correct us, man. And that's why it was dramatic. You see, because even dealing with dogs, with animals, if you're training a dog, a puppy, you're gonna be strict. You have to be strict. Even dealing with a child, you have to be strict to lay the foundations of that, that strictness, and the child being obedient. So what you do is you lay a heavy yoke upon that child. Any little thing he does is a quick chastisement. You might slap. Give him a slap, a spanking every time, so he learns and knows not to do, or he learns and knows what's right and what's wrong, and stays away from what's wrong, man. Because it's not gonna be pleasant to get beat every time you do something wrong. you know. And that beat is a form of it's a scare tactic, man. Because the kid doesn't want to feel that feeling, when they do that thing, so they're gonna avoid it. You see. So let's go from there to the book of Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 5. It says, and ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou rebuke of him. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. You see, so whom the Lord loves, he's gonna chasten. He's gonna chasten, man. So if your father loves you, he's gonna tell he's gonna beat you, and if you're doing something wrong, that's a form of love. But if he doesn't love you, he's just gonna let you destroy yourself and do whatever you want, man, and just let you be spoiled. Which if a father does that to a child, it shows that they don't care about him, man. If they just let you come home, like let's say you're a teen, your father lets you come home late at night, and you're only 12 years old, man. That shows your father doesn't care about you. Your father doesn't love you, because if it was a father that loves you, he would be strict. He would tell you, yo, what are you doing coming home this late? You get spanking, you might get grounded, a couple punishments, because he doesn't want you to be out there in the elements at a young age, man. And the world is a big place to let a child be out there on his own at a young age, man. So once again it says, for whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. You see? So if you're without chastisement, you're considered a bastard, someone that's disregarded, a disgrace, because that's really what bastards are. They're just a disgrace. Because these ancient medieval movies and shows that, you see the hatreds they have for a bastard. So a bastard will be symbolic to something that's disdained. All right, so let's go from there to the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 6, and I'm gonna start at verse 13. It says, it says, matter of fact, I'm starting at verse 12. It says, now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discouraged for these calamities, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation. So there's a difference between being completely destroyed, having a punishment that's brought upon you to be destroyed, and then a chastening. Those are two different things. Because the punishment to be destroyed is you're completely done. Like for example, the punishment that's going to come upon the nation of Edom, they're going to be destroyed, man. To the point where they're not going to be remembered anymore. That's a hatred type of punishment. But then it's also a punishment that's known as a chastening, which is a correction. And there's a place for you to learn and build back from the mistake you made. So what our nation is going through is not a punishment for destruction, but a punishment as a chastening, man. So that's mercy. So let's go to verse 13. It says, for it is a token of his great goodness, when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished. For not as with other nations whom the Lord patiently forbear to punish, till they be come to the fullness of their sins, so dealeth he with us, least that being come to the height of sin, afterwards he should take vengeance on us. All right, so I want to get this in the GNT, because it gives a more vivid illustration, a better translation. It translates what I just said, man. So let's go from here to the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 12. It says, I beg you not to be discouraged as you read about the terrible things that happened. Consider that this was the Lord's way of punishing his people, not of destroying them. You see? It says, in fact, it is a sign of kindness to punish a person immediately for his sins, rather than to wait a long time. It says, the Lord does not treat us as he does other nations. He waits patiently until they have become deeply involved in sin before he punishes them. But it says, but he punishes us before we have sinned too much. So the Lord is always merciful to us, his own people. Although he punishes us with disasters, he never abandons us. I have made these few observations by the way of reminder. We will now get on with the story. You see? So the Lord deals with us in measure. And that measure is being punished right away every time we do something wrong or when we go off. That's actually a form of mercy and love. You see? But the other nations, the Lord allows their tabs to build up to the point of no return, because they're considered as bastards. The Lord doesn't care about them anyways, but he cares about the nation of Israel, the nation whom he loves. That's why the chastisement comes immediately. You see, so with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to say, call halayim la Yahweh ba'ashim Yahushai ba'ashim Chakadash. Until next time, shalom.